Well, campaign 2024 is coming down to its final weeks. We are now more than 3 weeks out from the election. Candidates putting more focus on North Carolina.
But why is North Carolina so important, you may be asking? Well, take a look at this. The Tar Heel State carries 16 electoral votes, something that can give either candidate a boost toward reaching the finish line, 270 electoral votes. Now, doubling down on winning North Carolina today, Donald Trump marking his second stop in the state in less than a week. Today, he was at a factory in Mint Hill. And
that's where Chief Investigative Reporter Nick Oxner joins us with the latest in this razor-tight race for the White House.
Yeah, Trump's visit to this manufacturing facility here in Mint Hill comes just one day after the latest North Carolina poll finds the race between Trump and Vice President Kamala Harris in a virtual dead heat in the state. Today's event was smaller than most Trump rallies and billed as an address on jobs and the economy. Trump continuing to hammer Harris on economic issues and reinforcing his plan to ramp up tariffs on virtually all foreign-made goods. But Trump opened his remarks by further underscoring just how important North Carolina is to him retaking the White House.
We've won North Carolina twice, and we got to win it one more time. And we win North Carolina, we're going all the way.
And that new comment from Trump today comes after a Saturday memo from senior advisors to Kamala Harris's campaign saying they view North Carolina as a top pickup opportunity, especially in the wake of that bombshell CNN investigation and the comments the network says were made by Mark Robinson on the chat forum of a porn website more than a decade ago. Tonight reporting in Mint Hill, Nick Oxner, WBTV on your side.